I'm going to quickly go through a number of government entities and briefly explain what their role in dealing with dealers is, and in the dealer's role in dealing with them. The first is the FTC, the Fair Trade Commission. That is the federal government, the federal entity, that regulates dealers from the federal government side. The CFPB is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That's another federal government entity that oversees essentially the money part of a dealer dealing with finance and with specifically with consumer finance. It's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The next is the Georgia Department of Revenue. They're the ones that take in the tax money. They they deal with licenses, and they do a whole bunch of other things. The Department of Revenue, they deal with titles. I don't know why I said licenses. They deal with titles, certificates of titles, issuance of titles, and that kind of stuff. Then there's the Governor's Office of Consumer Protection. That is a Georgia entity that oversees consumer transactions. So where you have violations of the Georgia Fair Business Practices Act, and we'll get into that in a future video, those are investigated by the Governor's Office of Consumer Protection. That's run out of the Georgia Secretary of State. Then there's the State Board of Used Motor Vehicles, which we've discussed previously. That is in Macon, and they are the state authority that issues licenses to motor vehicle dealers, also audits motor vehicle dealers, issues fines to dealers, and that kind of stuff. Then there's the Clean Air Force, which is the state organization that governs emissions. And those are required in certain counties of Georgia, and in other counties, they're not required. But that is all done by the Clean Air Force. Finally, this is a little bonus because it's a non-government entity that a lot of people think is the government, and that's the Better Business Bureau. The Better Business Bureau is a consumer watchdog organization that allows consumers to make complaints regarding different businesses, and dealers will be on the BBB, and they get complaints from customers and have the opportunity to respond to those complaints. So just to recap, we've got FTC, CFPB, the Department of Revenue, or DOR, the Office of Consumer Protection, OCP, the State Board of Used Motor Vehicles, the Clean Air Force, and the BBB.